Welcome to Feng Shui Living, the podcast designed for busy women who want to de-stress, live with intention, and create a home that truly supports their well-being. Each week, I'll bring you practical tips, insightful ideas, and simple strategies to enhance both your home and your life. Let's get started. If you love this podcast and you're ready to go deeper into this work, my book, Aligned at Home, is designed to help you start shifting your space right away with simple, approachable guidance. And for those of you who like something maybe a little more hands-on, the Aligned at Home workbook gives you prompts, exercises, and checklists to actually walk through your home and make some changes. You can snag links for both the Aligned at Home book and workbook in the show notes. Hello, and welcome to Feng Shui Living Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Morton. So happy to have you here on this episode where I share 5 ways to regain control of your home this summer. I know it can feel just kind of wild this time of year, but I want you to be honest with me for a second. Have you ever walked into your home this summer and just stopped, and not because anything's on fire, not because anything's really wrong, but just because it feels like chaos? Maybe there's shoes by the door that seem to multiply magically overnight. Maybe the mail is piling up on the counter, half empty water bottles or soda bottles on every surface. And it's not really about the actual mess. It's more about the whole house just feels a little out of your control right now. And if that's you, I want you to hear me say this. That's so normal for this season of life. Summer is busy. We're in, we're out. The door is constantly moving, friends. We're traveling. The kids are home. Our schedules, our routines, they're different every single day. And your home is going to reflect that. The season of summer in Feng Shui connects to the fire element. It's really high energy. We're naturally supposed to go and do all these things. And this is something I talk about a lot. Our homes need to shift with the season we're in. So during wintertime, we're in a water element season. That's about curling up on the sofa with a cup of tea. We're not meant to be really high energy, right? We have to go through these high energy seasons and then bring it down and go within a bit during the winter season. And then we know we'll wake up again during spring and have another high energy season of summer, right? It's this continual cycle. You know, summer just has a different kind of feeling, and it just can bring a little bit of chaos. So I'm not about giving you this overwhelming reset today. I'm giving you 5 simple ways to regain control of your home this summer. And no major cleaning day or overhaul or remodel is required here. So let's start with Step 1. Step 1 is stop trying to fix the whole house at once. I see this all the time with clients. They look around, they feel overwhelmed, everything feels like so much. So instead of doing anything, they freeze. They literally freeze and they don't know where to start. So instead, I want you to pick one zone. This could be a kitchen countertop. This could be, just that one area that seems to poke at you the most, right? It pokes at your mood. You notice your mood shifts when you walk past this zone or this area, this countertop or this closet. For a lot of women, that's the kitchen counter. It's that horizontal surface, right? We see everything. It's right there, right in front of our eyes. And maybe for others, it might be an entry or a side door, mudroom where all the shoes are dropped. You know, I had a client who I was working with, and one of the first things she told me was that she hated coming home because it gave her just this feeling of overwhelm, and she loved her family, had loved her home but didn't love being there. And so we talked through a few things, but I had her tell me about when she would walk in at the end of the day. She'd drive home from work, and I was like, tell me about walking in. She's like, okay. I get out of my car, I walk in the house, I, step through the door, and, my kids have shoes everywhere. There's water bottles, there's book bags, there's sports bags, there's sports equipment, there's stuff just everywhere. And it makes me crazy. No wonder she didn't want to be at home. No wonder. Think about when you walk in, what are you greeted by? Because this sets the tone for your entire experience at home. So, I'm always talking about the front door being the mouth of Qi, and so important. But if you don't come in through the front door, I don't want you to neglect these other doors, right? If you don't come in the front door, that's okay. I want you to use it occasionally. Go listen to a front door episode. I can link some in the show notes, but find the door you're using most often. And yes, that's okay if it's the garage or a side door or a back door. But I want you to check in, that you walk in and you feel good. Are you greeted by a really great tile on the floor or a piece of artwork? I want you to walk in and your mood be uplifted and you feel really good being at home. All right, and this leads me into tip number 2, is to create a landing pad for all the stuff that comes in the door with you. What's in your hands? Your sunglasses, your keys, your purse, your phone, whatever, garage door opener, right? All that stuff, whatever it is, it needs to go somewhere the second you walk in. It just needs to go in some sort of location. Have a landing spot for everything. This could be a basket, a hook on the wall, a tray on a table. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to exist. Containers, bins, and baskets, they are your friends. Now, I've learned from doing my interviews with my home organizing experts, be sure to measure your space before you go out and get overwhelmed by all the cute bins and baskets and containers at all the stores. But invest in some of these pieces so that you have a landing spot for your phone. You have a landing spot for your purse. You have a landing spot for your sunglasses. Maybe you have a hook where you put your keys. Everyone in the family puts their keys on the hook, right? Create a system. All right. Get containers, create a system, have a landing spot. All right. We're going to move into tip number 3. And this is probably my favorite because it takes a whole 2 minutes, but it makes a real difference. Open your windows, even just for a few moments. Letting fresh air actually move throughout your home rinses it out. It actually does something. It's not just a physical shift. The air feels different, right? It just smells different. And then there's an energetic movement here too. Stagnant air and stagnant energy really go hand in hand. So this is one of those quick tips that really works. Open your windows, set a timer, turn on a great song and dance around your house while the air flows, and then you can close them. All right, tip number 4, and this is something I want you to do every day before you go to bed. Set a timer for 5, maybe 10 minutes to surface clear. When I started doing this in my own home, it really transformed my morning. I always felt like I woke up and I was instantly just running a million miles an hour. I mean, I still kind of honestly feel like that in the mornings, but I like to go and do all the things and do all the things around my house. I burn my incense, I light a candle, I open the windows, I do all my things, right? And it can feel like a lot, but I can enjoy it so much more. Like these are rituals I love, right? To make my coffee and to water my plants. And when I can do these without being distracted by all the stuff, right? All the stuff that was maybe on the counter from the night before. I want you to wake up. I want you to see the clear counter instead of the yesterday's chaos. your whole morning starts differently. It's kind of the same as walking through the door. How are you setting the tone for the rest of your time at home? And how are you setting the tone here for your day? How are you starting your day? This is one small shift, but it changes how you feel the second you walk into that room. So nightly surface clear, that could be, again, 5, maybe 10 minutes. Maybe turn on a favorite song, a cleaning song that's a little longer song, and you clean while the song is on, or you set an alarm, and once it's off, you're done. Go to bed. Enjoy. All right, and here is tip number 5. This is more of an invitation than an ask. I want you to just notice. Is there a system? Is there a routine? Is there a setup in your home? Maybe the bins and baskets that worked great for the winter season, but they're just not fitting in and working now for the summer season of your life. Maybe it's where you're keeping certain things, a certain table, a certain place where you kept all the winter boots, but it doesn't really work for all the summer flip-flops. Maybe it's where you're keeping certain things. Maybe it's a schedule that just doesn't make sense anymore. You don't have to fix it today. I just want you to notice, right? Awareness alone starts that momentum going. So those are my 5 simple shifts. I encourage you to pick one. Pick one to start. Create that one zone and really hone in on that one zone. Find your landing pad and go to the Container Store or Target and get your fun bins and baskets. Open your windows. Do a nightly surface clear. Set up a system, a plan, right? Maybe it's you turn the TV off and you play some calming music while you're doing those final things right before bed. And also just notice what's not serving you any longer, because the energy of other times of the year, it just doesn't work with the season of summer that we're in now. And again, none of this requires any type of big remodel or complicated system. They're just quick, easy, practical fixes when your home just feels really chaotic. Now, if you need some more support this time of year, I'd love to have you join my Aligned at Home Collective, my monthly membership group. We meet the first Wednesday evening of every month for 1 hour. This is 1 hour devoted to you and your home. I tell my members, come with your favorite bevy. Maybe you want to bring your dinner and join us. However you want to come, put your favorite slippers on. Devote this 1 hour to you, to sit down with this group of amazing women from all over the country. Gosh, even outside of the country too. And we have a lesson. I share a lesson, a focus, some tips, some information. We go much deeper than we do here on the podcast, but it is a wonderful, wonderful experience. I would love to have you join. You can pop over to my website, the Aligned at Home Collective. And if you'd like to check it out, you can join for 1 single month. 1 single month. If you want to stay longer, then you can stay longer. You can leave whenever you want. There's no commitment to being a part of the collective. P.S. You also get a free download of my Aligned at Home workbook that accompanies my book, Aligned at Home. As a member, you get the free download. So you can check that out too. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today on this short and sweet episode to just rein it in. If you're feeling overwhelmed, and maybe you need to save this episode and come back to it during certain busy times of your life or your week when you're like, okay, I'm just overwhelmed. What can I do? Just go through these steps. I know you've got this. All right, friends, I'll see you at our next episode. Take care. Special thanks to our sponsor, Elevated Living School of Holistic Design and Feng Shui. For more information, head over to the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time.